Hey guys, it's Al from Altruistic Channel, and I'm coming to you today from the side of the mighty Mississippi. It's freezing cold out here, but I wanted to take it outside of just, being inside the house and talking to you like some sort of blog or something. So what I wanted to talk about today was, as you can see, the wonderful city of New Orleans behind me. One of the great things about our city is that it's unique. And what I wanted to talk about specifically was the uniqueness quality to it. Let's say that you're an entrepreneur and you are looking at coming into the market of New Orleans and you see it as a great opportunity to kind of grow your business and an untapped market area for you to kind of do as you wish. The problem that I'm finding with a lot of companies that are following that train of thought is the fact that we're a little bit different as a city. Things that you may not normally consider play a big part in the city of New Orleans, and specifically it's that unique quality that you're after. It's a untapped market in a lot of ways because a lot of industries are having trouble kind of navigating the waters, if you will, of this type of environment. And what it comes down to is that when you have a city that's 300 years old, built on the uniqueness of its citizen, the biggest problem or the worst thing you can do is not actually look at the what makes it special, and in this case it's the citizen. And so the people of New Orleans are very, very unique, is the best way to put it. We kind of beat to our own drummer. We've been around for 300 years doing whatever it is that we want to do, and we kind of have done it in a way that is sufficient for our families, and we kind of have a as long as you don't mess with my money type of mentality. We pretty much let you do what you want to do, and that presents a lot of interesting dynamics for a company coming in from, let's say, a larger market like Chicago or Los Angeles. Though we are law-abiding for the most part, we are a city built on corruption. The corruption is notorious. 5 mayors have seen the back end of being caught as a corruptive source, but it wasn't until they started messing with our money that we got mad. So that should lend itself to kind of tell you a little bit about who we are as citizens, and that you can't underestimate us as far as whether or not your company can survive or not. The one thing that I've noticed with people coming into our environment is that they covet the market share itself, but tend to overlook the value of what makes that market special and why it's so untapped. And it comes down to this. When it comes to being a city, this city is unique, and I keep using that word, is unique in the sense that it does not follow or adhere to the same practices or the same manner of business or manner of doing business as the other markets do. And the reason is because its citizen, it has been to hell and back, and that perseverance and that survival instinct is permeating. And what it does is that it does a couple things. One, it makes for one hell of a strong personality to have. New Orleanians are notorious for being in-your-face personalities. If we don't fucking like you, we're going to tell you we don't fucking like you. And it's going to be to your face, and it's not going to be in any way, shape, or form covert or two-faced. It's going to be direct. And one of the things that I noticed with big companies is when you try to move into a territory made up of citizens like this, you're going to run into a problem where you try to possibly tell them how to change, or that they have to change, and that they have to operate in the manner that you see. And the problem with that is that we've been around for 300 years, and we're doing quite well, thank you very fucking much. And so for you to come in and to tell us what we need to do and how we need to change ourselves to better incorporate your needs, you're going to fall flat on your face. And where other industries will kind of lend itself to change, we don't. And so as a business, if you come to us in the wrong way, you're going to get bitch slapped and you're going to get hit hard. And it's unfortunate to the industry, but a little bit from our standpoint kind of deserving. We get that your motive operandi is very important to how you are structured, but one of the things about being a true leader is that you understand that when you expand it's not just built upon your needs. You're going to have to change and kind of contour your ways of doing things in order to best suit the needs of not just your um, company overhead or your company vision, more so, but you're also going to have to you're going to have to encompass the environment that you're moving into. And with New Orleanians, the specific thing that we have is that we are survivors. Not just Katrina, but we have survived years and years and decades of corruption. And we've done so on our own, kind of without any help from anyone else. And though that's very cavalier to some degree, it also lends itself to a little bit of a problematic situation. You can't tell a New Orleanian what to do unless they agree to do it. Like, there's nothing you can do to sway me. There's nothing you can do to sway a woman who works 3 jobs so that she can afford a Bentley to then suddenly, kiss your ass because you tell her to do so. Like, she's just gonna look at you and be like, fuck you, asshole, I'm gonna go to the corner and get another job. I'll start working at that restaurant. And so you have an oversaturated market that is very, very specific. I mean, you're moving into a territory that not only hosts Mardi Gras, but has huge Halloween and huge Red Dress Run and Southern Decadence and numbers that most cities have never seen, we do on the day to day. And so it begets kind of like this environment of self-entitlement from some, and then from others a disregard entirely for the system. And so if you're going to move into the market share of New Orleans, or you're going to move into the market of New Orleans, and you're going to try to get into this rather untapped market, you're going to have to come at it from the standpoint of you're going to have to change, not us. And you don't have to change everything, but you're going to have to look at the possibility that the way that your employees talk to each other, if it's very direct and very kind of direct looking but underhanded, or somehow two-faced, or somehow not on the up and up, we're going to eat you alive and we're going to spit you back out. And it sounds very full of bravado and stuff, but it's not. I'm not like saying it in a bad way. There are some good parts to that, and there are some incredibly bad parts to that. We tend to run a lot of businesses out of here, and in the end it could hurt us as a city. But at the same time, if you just come at the situation with the proper research and having done some beyond the superfluous, you will find that we are some of the hardest working people that you're ever going to meet. And if you came at us in the right direction, not only would your company be profitable, but it would be profitable in a way that would kind of revolutionize how others do business here. I have seen some incredible companies try to come in here and do business in the way that they normally did it in big cities like Chicago or LA or New York or even Miami. And the neglect of the citizen has been the number one thing that they have run into issues with. For example, it may be acceptable to come to somebody in California and tap them on the shoulder rather harshly to try to get their attention if they're not paying attention. But in the New Orleans area, you do that and I'm gonna knock the shit out of you. And if I don't do it at work because they would mess with my money, I'm gonna wait for you outside of work somewhere and accidentally run into you so that you never forget my face. And that's not good. It's not good at all. But it's not something that's going to change. When you have a system known for corruption, we don't adhere well to policy. And so if you want to cultivate a system of loyalty, because we are some of the most loyal people in the world, you're going to have to do it from an angle of understanding why we are the way we are and coming at us with respect. Because the one thing that you cannot do in this city if you want to survive, or even more to the point thrive, is come at us with disrespect. This city has one of the highest murder rates per capita for some of the smallest demographics. I mean, statistically, I'm pretty sure that we are ridiculous in the danger level. And we've survived like this, many of us, lifelong. And so we're not going to change because it's a survival mechanism. And so you can't ask us to do that. So understanding the fact that we have some things that outweigh your needs as a company, it's a great benefit to you in the end, I should say. And so I just say, when it comes to leading an industry of any type, there are going to be untapped markets that you could totally saturate and you could own, essentially. And if you just look beyond what your perception is of what needs to happen and actually look at what the climate is for that environment, then I say you would be vastly impressed with how far you can go. And I know, for example, there's a company that I really admire from Chicago that I really thought would do great as an industry, but instead what it did is that it came in with its system and it kind of gave us this flighty, new age millennial type of bosses that would come in and be like, okay guys, no, seriously, like, don't make me get mad, and expect that to do anything for us. And we would just look at them and be like, you gotta be kidding me. And we ate them alive. And unfortunately, the market at that particular job, that particular industry, that particular company, if I can speak, it's so cold. But I wanted to go out remote. Plus, I'm in a blanket, so I'm loving it. And I get to shoot from Mississippi. But what it ended up doing was that it alienated the company, and instead, what they did is they ended up having to close the satellite office, which of course means there's no way it's going to succeed down here, because you can't run a demographic like ours from Chicago. Like, it's not going to happen. And it was very unfortunate to watch, because I really believed in that company. I really thought it would do great, but it didn't get the right people. So if you don't understand the market of New Orleans and you find it very hostile, understand that it can't be all that hostile because you love it. And the reason you covet this industry is not just because of the numbers, it's because of the way we are. And we are notoriously some of the sweetest people on the planet and some of the most hospitable people on the planet. So what is the variable? What is the difference? And instead of looking at that, you're presupposing information based on the wrong demographics or the wrong way of looking at things. Business is not business down here. It's very much personal. And so when you find the balance, you will succeed. And I will say that the best thing you can do is find someone like me who has developed their corporate skills in another city like Los Angeles, like I did for 22 years, and then move back to New Orleans. And you have them in positions that help aid your quest to marry not just your corporate needs, but also marries the needs of the citizen here. And it's able to kind of round them up, because there's going to be moments in your company's tenure down here where you're going to be in some serious situations where there's violence or there's some sort of peril, whether it be natural disaster or not. And you're going to need a natural leader born of the area to kind of rally the troops and get them on point. And people say that that's not how it's going to go. And I just say, well, then you're not going to succeed very well, because in this market, if you want me to do something, you better have a New Orleanian leader in that place. Because only a New Orleanian, I will look at someone and be like, you need to get your shit together, I'm going to fucking replace you. And I don't, like, you need to be able to hold your own without crossing that line into some sort of confrontational way. There's very aggressive speak here that is not aggressive at all. And in fact, it's like, I say to people all the time, I'm like, knock it the fuck off, or I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face. I'm gonna break your nose. I'm gonna break your nose. And like, it sounds very aggressive to you, but to us, that's like, hey, what's up? Like, it's so counterintuitive. But I just find that for you all, if you're gonna come into a market like ours, please do the research. Listen to us that live here, and listen to the executives like me who are entrepreneurs or who are starting to make a difference in the city, or who have altruistic things that the endeavors that they're going after. Because in the end, you're gonna have to trust in someone that is outside of the norm for you, because we are so unique. And again, you have to understand, if you have a city built on hospitality, and a city that is so loving and so hospitable to you and will go out of its way to, like, the cops still walk ladies late at night back to their hotel rooms. You have bartenders who will go out of the way and actually pay for your cab to get you home if you're too intoxicated. This city is magical, and it has the music and the stability that most cities wish they had. But it's also one of the most dangerous. So how do you marry the two? And it's in that little in between that you find most of your answers. And what I'm saying to you is that do the research, guys. It's really worth it down here, and there's so many great relationships that can come out of us working together. But you're gonna have to trust me. Do not underestimate the citizen. or its impact to the city, and you can't come in with your regular MO. You're going to have to adopt some sort of system of like thinking back when you first started. You had a business idea, and with that business idea, things happened, and you had to kind of change it a little bit or tweak it in order to make it work. And so I'm just saying the same thing with New Orleans, guys. We are a citizen built on aggression with decades and decades of corruption that are some of the sweetest and most down-home people you're ever going to meet in the world. And we are so lovable that everybody wants to be part of us, but they don't know how. I'm trying to tell you how. Talk to some of our leaders, talk to me, talk to any one of the leaders in the city that are built on trying to bring business in, and you're going to hear the same thing. Just respect how things are done down here and understand that you will not be able to change it. If the country hasn't changed us in 300 fucking years, what makes you think that you're special? Just not going to happen. But we can work together, and by working together we can make some really, really great advances for the city and for your company. And so that's all I wanted to say. Take it for what it is, but I'm just saying to the leaders of tomorrow, this city has immense resources that is at your fingertips. Just talk to us and engage us the right way, and we will go the distance with you. And that's all. So I hope you guys have a great day. This is from the side of the Mississippi on one of the coldest days. I love it. I'm in a blanket and I'm wrapped up. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And I just wanted to touch base from Altruistic Channel. This is Al. See you later. Oh, I feel like I did. My balls are in my butt, but that's okay. I can be